Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today is a very K-pop related video. I'm gonna be talking about how I got into K-pop because I think it was just maybe a very nice video idea to tell you guys how I got into K-pop, how it started, with which groups it started, and obviously I'm a K-pop stan still today. So, and I also wanted to do a Q&A, like maybe you guys had any questions about my life as a K-pop stan really, or like just maybe my experience on being a K-pop stan. So any kind of questions. So I asked you guys on my Instagram story if you guys had any questions. I actually specifically asked for questions that I could really have a conversation about, so not questions like, oh, who's your bias in this group, or oh, do you happen to stan this group, because I feel like those are like pretty short answers. If I would have like 30 questions about specific groups, then I don't think like, I don't know, I just didn't really feel like answering 30 questions about different groups. I really wanted to have questions that could make a conversation. So, and I wrote some questions down which I received. Okay, enough rambling, let's get on with this video. So first, before I get into the questions, I'm gonna have a story time about how I got into K-pop, because I think how everyone started their K-pop journey can be very different. Some can be quite similar, but I still wanted to tell you guys how I got into K-pop. So yeah, okay, so for this we have to go back all the way to 2013. I was 16 years old at that time. I was in high school. So how it basically started is I was on this app quite a lot called We Hearted. If you don't know We Hearted, it's like similar to Pinterest, which you see like a lot of like images of nice things. So it's basically like Pinterest. I was on that app like quite a lot, like every day, because I was really that type of like Tumblr girl who really liked those photos with aesthetics. And you know how the aesthetics around that time were. So yeah, I was on that app quite a lot. And the thing is, of course, on these apps you see things also like cute boys as well, not only just clothes, food, anything girly at the time. Well, because I don't think now in 2022 those things would be considered necessarily girly, because we're now in a completely different time compared to then. So you saw things like clothes, food, quotes, but you also saw some cute boys. But then while I was scrolling there, I noticed that I kept seeing those images of the same guys, and they were like, let me just talk through in the way that I thought back then, because obviously now I know who these guys are and that they are Korean, but like just back then. So I really kept seeing those photos of like those Asian guys, and first of all, they looked like pretty cute as well. And you know how back then how K-pop groups, because it was the beginning of the third generation, how third generation's boy groups looked like back then, what kind of their aesthetic was and what kind of concepts they did. So before I'll say anything, no, it was not BTS. BTS was not the group I started with, even though like the time I got into them, I think BTS like just debuted, or it was right before their debut, but it was not BTS that I was like who those guys were. Those guys were actually EXO, because I kept seeing on the tags of those photos like EXO, EXO-M, EXO-K, Kai, Baekhyun. I kept seeing EXO, and I really thought by myself, well, they look pretty cute. And the fact that I've seen them on the regular a lot on We Hearted, I was like, I've seen them quite a lot, and I was like, okay, let me just Google them, because I was like, they're a bunch of cute looking guys, so why not do my research about them? And then I found out, oh, they are a group, they make music. And then I went to look at them, and I was like, oh, it's K-pop, it's Korean. Like back then I actually barely knew anything about K-pop. Like obviously everyone knew Gangnam Style back then. Like even when Gangnam Style came out, I didn't even know it was Korean. Like I thought it was Japanese. Oh, and let me just tell you a fun fact as well, and for that I have to go back to 2012. I saw on my YouTube homepage a music video. It was from Big Bang. It was called Fantastic Baby, and that was actually my first actual K-pop song, but I didn't know around that time. I watched the video. At first I was like, because you all know the visuals of Fantastic Baby, I was like, yo, like this is really something else. Just the whole visuals, I was so blown away by it. I really didn't think it was weird or anything, because I think a lot of people would be like, what the heck are you watching? But like, I actually sort of was intrigued by it. Like, I liked it, and I actually found myself that I kept watching the MV and listening to the song on repeat. But back then I didn't know it was Korean. I actually thought it was Japanese back then. But Big Bang Fantastic Baby was actually my first K-pop song, but it was just for that time. I think it would like lasted maybe a few days, and I was just listening to it while I was in the library at school, and then after that I actually didn't do anything with it. So until 2013, what I just told. Okay, so now we're going back to when I discovered EXO. I discovered, oh, they are a group, they make music, and it was around the time they released their album XOXO, the one with the Wolf title track. So I listened to it on this like illegal site. It was called Item VN. I don't know if it still exists, but I was listening to that a lot. And I listened to the music of the whole album. I was like, this is actually very nice. Like, I was like, I actually like these songs, and I don't know, like, I was just like, I like this. But back then I never thought I would get into K-pop so deep, because let me tell you what happened, what actually made me go deeper into the whole K-pop industry scene, everything. September 2013 is always like what I say is that was the time it started. So this year is gonna be 9 years that I've been a K-pop stan. 9 years, like crazy, right? I was in my 4th year of high school. I was 16 years old back then. I had this girl in my class. I never knew her before, so because she transferred from another school, and we had like this gap hour thing. Like, how do you say it in Dutch? We call it tussenuur, but like it's just that you have an hour free between classes. So we had that, and since we were classmates, so we were just like talking in the cafeteria, and then we were just talking about like, oh, what kind of music do you listen to? And back then I was listening to music from like Justin Bieber, One Direction, Selena Gomez, really like those really that type of music, you know. So yeah, I told her that, and then I asked, oh, what do you listen to? And she first actually didn't want to say it, because it was not that she was embarrassed, but because she was like, she was scared what would people think of it. So I was like, it's okay, you can just tell me. And then she actually texted me what it was, because she didn't want to say it out loud. And then she said, I listen to K-pop, which is Korean music. And I was like, wait, I've been listening to K-pop too at the moment. Like, do you know EXO? She was like, oh my god, yes, I know EXO. I listen to them as well. And that's how we really like talked about K-pop a lot. And because first back then I was just a casual listener. I just casually listened to EXO's music. I really wasn't getting into the members, or I didn't watch any content of them. But because she was a K-pop stan, we could actually talk about it together. And then she finally had someone who she could talk to about K-pop. So then she introduced me to like who the members were, and then we watched like crack videos on YouTube of them, like watching content about them. And that's just really how I actually rolled into K-pop. Like, first I was just only listening to EXO, but because I was watching like the other content, like concert videos or other stuff, and because obviously EXO was from SM, and the girl I was talking to was also listening to groups like 2NE1, Big Bang. She also recommended me songs from like Girls' Generation, Super Junior. And I believe Super Junior was the next group I got into, so I also listened to Super Junior. I also listened to SHINee. I was really like starting with the SM entertainment groups, like also like Girls' Generation. Like, that's how I like this started to discover more groups and actually started listening to them more. And I also listened to 2NE1 because the girl was a huge 2NE1 fan, so I also listened to a lot of 2NE1 because of her. So I also got a little bit into YG, like 2NE1, Big Bang. I don't think I got into JYP groups until 2015. So yeah, I was just listening to a lot of EXO and SM groups, Super Junior. I actually didn't listen to other groups, just like SM and YG only, until 2015, because that's when I actually discovered BTS. Like, I've heard of BTS before because of my friend, because she was getting more into BTS and wasn't really listening to EXO anymore. So I heard about BTS a lot. So It's then I think later in 2015 when I really started to look groups outside SM and YG, so like BTS, GOT7. Oh, I remember when Twice made their debut, I literally like followed them from debut, and it was the same time Dope from BTS was released, and it was because of Dope, like Choro. It was because of that song I got into BTS, and I think because of that I just started to get into more groups, so not just only within the big three or like SM and YG at least. I started to listen to more groups, and that is basically the story of how I got into K-pop. Like, it's so funny how it just started from an app called We Hearted, and I saw pictures of EXO and I was just interested in them because they looked cute, and then I listened to their music, and then I had this classmate who was into K-pop, and so I talked to her with K-pop more often, and that's how I basically got into it. Like, it's so crazy, and now almost 9 years later we're still here, and I'm very happy about it. So I'm actually very happy that K-pop is really like this big passion of mine and a big hobby, because yeah, I'm just very happy how it just went. So okay, so that was basically the story time of how I got into K-pop. So now I'm actually gonna go through the questions. First question is, do you know any K-pop dances? Personally, I am not one of those people who knows every single dance of K-pop, because there are some people who just literally know the dance of every song that comes out. Like, I am really not a dancer like that. So of course I've known some dances from Twice, like Likey, I Can't Stop Me. I also used to know Humph by WJSN Chokomi. But I feel like I sort of forgotten it. Like, I don't dance to K-pop quite a lot, but I really do want to get back into it more. I keep saying it every time, but it is something I really want to get back into, especially at Hypen their dances. I really want to learn them. So yeah, I don't know that many, unfortunately. So every time when I see people like do random K-pop dance at either in Rotterdam or at concerts, I just really stand there looking, because I cannot dance along with them. So fun fact, I actually used to be in a K-pop dance group, and we actually like used to practice every Sunday, but it's just, I don't know what it was. It's just, I think just the group like sort of fell apart, not like with a big fight or anything. It's just a lot of people just weren't available on the Sunday, and renting a dance studio is not like very cheap, you know. It is actually pretty expensive. So if not everyone can make it, of course, like sessions got cancelled, and then we got COVID, and actually ever since COVID we never like really got back to it. I think a lot of people actually forgot the group still exists. So yeah. How many groups do you stan? Okay, that is quite a lot, because there are actually a lot of groups that I stan. Especially the second and the third generation. And also quite a lot of fourth generation as well. It's just I think it would take a very long time to actually like name all the groups I stan, but like the most important is of course Hypen, which is currently my ult group. I love them so much. Of course I stan BTS, Blackpink, Twice, who else? Actually basically like quite a lot of groups, but of course I'm naming the popular ones as well, but like basically like a very lot of groups. I also stan quite a lot of rookie groups as well. Oh yeah, I also stan groups like Stray Kids, ITZY, ATEEZ, ONEUS, TXT. I'm basically looking at my albums right now to see which ones are there. Yeah, actually quite a lot. So you could name me a group and I could say if I stan them, yes or not. But like I said, I didn't want to answer those questions in this video. So do you see yourself ever grow out of K-pop? Like, that is a very interesting question. Honestly, personally, I don't think I ever will grow out of K-pop, because K-pop has become like such a very big part of my identity. Like, not trying to sound like Korea boo, definitely not. Like, just you all know, I'm not a Korea boo. I'm happy with my ethnicity. I don't want to be Korean. I don't want to look Korean. Like, I'm happy with who I am, okay? So it's just K-pop has become such a big part of my life, and it's something that really makes me happy on a daily basis, because I really like devote my life to it as well. Like, not like very big or something, but of course I collect merch, and of course I listen to it actually every day. Like, it has really become a part of my life, and it also has become part of who I am. Like, K-pop is really something because actually some people say like, oh, if I hear K-pop, if I hear about South Korea, I always think about you, because so people actually associate me with that. So it has become such a big part, important part of my life, and so that's why I don't see myself ever grow out of K-pop, because I've been so invested to it that I feel like almost impossible that I'll grow out of it. Like, maybe I'm saying it now and maybe in 20 years time I'll change my mind, I'm not sure, but like personally I don't see it happen anytime soon, because sometimes I do see people, or I've known people who have actually grown out of K-pop, who don't listen to it anymore, who got other hobbies and interests instead, or because of certain reasons they decided to step out of K-pop, and which I totally respect all of them. So it's not that I do not respect people who grow out of it. Like, everyone has their own reasons, so who am I to judge? Yeah, I guess everyone has their reasons, but personally I don't see myself grow out of K-pop anytime soon. Do you have other interests beside K-pop / part of other fandoms? I'm actually like also into anime as well. It's funny because I'm actually into anime as well, like not as much as you would think, but it's just an interest that I picked up like almost 2 years ago. So I like to watch some anime here and there, but I'm not like a weeb, or I'm not saying weeb is a bad word, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not that invested that I watch anime every single day, or that I have a lot of merch or manga. I would love to get more into anime. It's just, let's just say my interest for K-pop is way bigger than anime, but like, it's just I really like anime. I would love to go to Japan one day. So yeah, it's actually an interest that I want to like get more into. Besides that, I like reading. I like reading books, young adult novels. I also like watch Miraculous Ladybug. Like, that's literally my guilty pleasure. If you also watch Miraculous Ladybug, let me know, because I love it so much. And just, I don't know what else really. It's just, I think those are basically my other interests or other fandoms I'm in. So yeah, that basically. What do other people think about you liking K-pop? Actually, I feel like I have quite a big support from my family, and also the majority of my friend circle are actually K-pop fans. I think there are maybe like 2 or 3 people in my whole friend circle who are not K-pop stans, but they do actually like just respect me for it. They don't have anything negative to say about it. They're not one of those people who make like jokes about it. So yeah, I do feel like I have like quite a big support from people. And also like when I tell people, like also my colleagues at work know I like K-pop, and they actually like are very happy that I'm very like, that I have a very big interest and a big passion for it. So yeah, people in general are actually quite happy for me, and they really support it and don't find it weird at all. So I'm scared telling people that I like K-pop. Did you have that too? If yes, how did you overcome it? I have to be honest, in my first few years of liking K-pop, it was not that I was completely embarrassed, but sometimes I was scared of other people's reaction when if I would say I like K-pop. Like, there were some few instances when people asked me, oh, what kind of music do you listen to? And I just literally said like, oh, I just like popular music or alternative music, but that wasn't the lie, because I was also listening to music like the 1975, Halsey, The Head and the Heart, 21 Pilots. I actually barely listen to them anymore, like not at all, but that was also the type of music I used to listen to back then. And I even went to the 1975 concert like twice. Like, so yeah, I just said like, oh, I listen to music like that, just basically listing all the other music I was listening to apart from K-pop. But now I'm just really like, I don't care what people are gonna think of it. Now that K-pop has been more popular internationally, of course a lot of people know about it now, so it's not really something like, oh, what is that? I think at least a lot of people know BTS now. Of course people know about Korea now, so now a lot more people know like, oh yeah, K-pop, I know what that is. And especially now with the whole like trend around Squid Game, like I think the trend is like toned down a little, but if you're scared to tell other people, then I know it's very easy to say like, don't be scared, you can like overcome it. It's just, I don't know if I can give you like the best advice about it, of how to overcome it. It's just, at some point I just stopped caring about what other people think. And if you feel like if your friends are gonna judge you, or like people close to you, then I would really like consider like, why are these people even still your friends if they cannot like fully accept your hobbies and your interests and only like ridicule for it? Like, why would you still like be around those people? So that's basically what I think. Like, I really feel like if friends are gonna judge me for my interests, then I don't think they're actual friends. Do you listen to K-pop? Well, basically literally every single day. Like, I cannot like really say in hours, oh, I listen to X hours of K-pop. It's just basically I listen to it every day. Any concerts you want to attend? Like, obviously there are so many groups I want to attend concerts of. Like, I was supposed to go to 80s like 2 years ago, but because of COVID it got cancelled, and they were supposed to perform in my country last month, but no, actually this month, like 2 weeks ago, but of course COVID had to ruin it again, so I don't know when the new date is gonna be. But I am actually going to K-pop Flex in Germany on the 14th of May. I'm going on the Saturday, so I'm so excited about that. I'm gonna see groups like Enhypen, because Enhypen was the #1 reason I wanted to go. I'm gonna see G-Idol, Mamamoo, AB6, IVE, Kai. I'm gonna see Kai, like, oh my god. Did I forget a group? NCT Dream, obviously. Like, I'm very excited to see them because I really like all of those artists and I'm very happy to go, so yeah. But I would love to go to a lot of concerts, so yeah. Why do you like K-pop? That's an interesting question, because it's just with K-pop, like, it really like makes me happy when I listen to it, and yeah, it's like sort of a feeling that I cannot describe when I listen to it, and when I watch content of them, it just makes me happy, and it sort of sometimes feels like an escape from the daily things that have been going on in my life. Like, you know, I have responsibilities like work and social life and stuff. It's just, and then when things like go wrong, I just feel like I can rely on K-pop. K-pop is that shoulder I can lean on, and it just makes me happy. So it's just for a lot of reasons, and also because, yeah, obviously I like the music and the visuals, the choreography. It's just so different compared to the Western style of music. So of course, like, not very different, if you know what I mean. Like, obviously Western producers work on K-pop as well. It's just it just has a whole other vibe, and it's not just only because of the language, but it's just with everything. So, and because that's why it's so different and unique, is why I like it so much. So how do you feel when you listen to K-pop? Well, I actually sort of already answered it. I just feel happy and just relieved, and it's just like, I don't know, it just really gives me a good feeling. So do you watch K-drama? Yes, I do. Like, I watch a lot of K-drama. It's just, I've been watching K-drama since 2016, actually. My first ever K-drama was Healer, with Ji Chang-wook and Park Min-young. It was a very nice K-drama. And also when Netflix started to put K-dramas in their selection, that's how I also got to watch more K-drama, because it was on Netflix, so it's more easily accessible. Of course, I also watch dramas on Viki, but it's just Netflix is just my go-to, so yeah. How long have you been collecting? I remember I bought my first album back in 2018, because that was when my electronics store decided to sell K-pop albums, and I'm very happy that in my country we have a lot more options of getting K-pop albums. There are like a lot of online stores, and also some literal actual music stores who actually have K-pop in their assortment now. And I started collecting photo cards like 2 months ago, because that's when I really decided to collect Jungwon and Heesung from Enhypen, and those are by far the only like members of Enhypen I collect, and Enhypen is also the only group I collect. So yeah, that. And also the final question, is it true that only teenagers listen to K-pop? Well, absolutely not. Like, obviously I was a teenager when I started, but now I'm 24 and I still listen to it. So, and when I went to the BTS concert in 2018, it was the Love Yourself tour, I actually met someone who was like 36, and also like people who were 50 who listened to BTS. So I guess that's just a stereotype, which is just not true. So yeah, and that was it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you liked, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in a new video. Bye.